right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we jump back into Wrestlemania 41. This time, though, Ariel and I jump into the events. We discuss night 1 and night 2, and we talk about everything that we loved about the event, things that we weren't too crazy about, and everything in between. So, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Bueno, primo. Man.
Man, indeed, my man. What is going on? How are you?
Fantastic, bro. I just, it's crazy because a lot of people reached out via Instagram and they're like, "Hey, when is the recap episode coming out? When is it coming out? We want to know what you guys think and what if you agree or disagree on certain things." And I'm just like, "Oh man, like now we really got to do this, huh?"
Yeah, no, I mean we knew we had to, but this is just, this is nuts. This is nuts. Yeah. So. But let's get into it. Let's not waste any time because we had two nights of WrestleMania to get into. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows what's happened now because we are a week out. I do apologize. It was the holiday. Things to do. Things come up. We are apologizing, but let's get into it and we can start it. Eddie, you have the rundown, right? I think I have to find my notebook that has our records on it or our predictions. But if you want to go on, but the first one start, I'll jump on in.
Okay. Well, basically the first thing that I want to jump into is the fact that, and maybe you could agree or disagree to this, but night 1 and night 2 opening matches, fantastic, bangers, way to start each event. Let's just put it that way.
Night 1 was Seth Rollins, Gunther.
No, Jay Gunther.
I'm sorry. So I remember because I was talking to somebody the other day about how Brock Lesnar got mad and didn't want to lose his belt, and he lost it to Seth Rollins. Like I think it was the WrestleMania where Kofi won his belt.
Yeah, we were there.
And he just got annoyed and walked out because he just wanted to give Seth Rollins the belt and gave it to him in like 6 minutes or something like that. Sorry, that's why that was in my head. I was talking about openers the other day. See, always talking wrestling. But yes, Gunther, Jey Uso. Wow, yes, great match, awesome. Everybody, I mean, he got his moment. They had the montage, they had the clips, they had the thing, the soft music over the pictures of him and his brother coming up and then him branching out on his own and the bloodline. Very nicely done. His WrestleMania moment happened. Great match. Wonderful storytelling. I was very content when it happened. Big smiles on my face. I got off work, I came home and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna sit down in the basement and start watching it. Man, I was down here just like really just quite happy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for me, at first I was really upset that it was the opening match because I was like, man, it's a heavyweight championship match. But again, I actually happened to be watching How to Make a Spectacle, the WrestleMania 9 story. And one of the things Shawn Michaels said in that documentary was like, he was the opening match of that WrestleMania. And he said that sets the tone for the rest of the night. And it's actually the most important match. Yeah. And to that same sentiment, I feel like Jay and Gunther really set the bar of an extravagant night, which I think night one and night 2 were pretty incredible. But I personally like night 1 a little bit better, but that's just me. But we'll get into it later on why. But fantastic. I mean, Jay clearly did his homework. I think that's the part of the storytelling that I did enjoy is like, you would think after, fighting each other, this being the 4th time at this time at WrestleMania, that it's almost like he did pay attention to Gunther. He did rewatch the tapes, so to speak, and, did some of Gunther's moves on him and knew when to reverse and so they really told an amazing story of overcoming after you've been beaten down by Gunther over and over and over again, that it's well-deserved, well done. And I am mad at it. And I actually love the new shirt that debuts on the following Monday, but we'll talk about that another episode. But
the new shirt, I gotta.
Oh, you gotta see the new shirt. It's dope.
Watched.
Heavyweight Yeet champion or something like that in gold.
Oh, now, yeah. It's okay.
It's hard.
Yeah, I remember next. I remember go, oh, what is that? Like, okay, yes, yeah. Got you. All right, yes.
Yeah. But fantastic way to open up the WrestleMania night one. Rather.
Amazing match. And I think both of us got this right. I think with picking Jay.
As the logical pick.
As the logical pick. Yeah.
But my fun pick was Gunther, but I'm happy either way. It worked out really well.
No, I mean, it was a great match. Like I said, had his moment. His brother came into the ring at the end and, was with him, which was always, great, to be able to have his brother, to have that moment with him and hoist him up and stuff. It was good. It was great. Like you said, great way to open the show, set the tone for a great night one to follow.
And then next match, which was, I believe, I can't recall if it was Jade or if it was LA Knight. I think LA Knight came in later, right?
It was Jade. It was Jade.
Right. Jade versus Naomi. Fantastic match as well. Really good. You could tell Jade has come a long way from AEW, from, even her time at WWE. Tremendous growth. She looked powerful. She looked like she knew what she was doing out there. And of course, Naomi, being the pro that she is, making Jade look good as well. It worked really well. I was invested in the match. I loved it. And I believe we both picked Jade to win this one because you got to build her up. You got to keep her going. I'm sure with the storyline going into the year going forward. So it makes sense.
Yeah. I went Jade on this one too as the logical. Yeah, you're right. It seems like in AEW they relied more on her just and her physical prowess and what she was able to do physically, and where here you can tell she's worked more to get her in-ring abilities down more to a science to be able to have better matches and stuff like that. And kudos to, like you said, Naomi for making her look good and just being a great worker herself. Because you have to trust another person in the ring with you, otherwise they're not, they're not going to make you look good and vice versa. So great match, yeah, very very good. I thought very well done. Glad to see Jay get the W there. Hopefully, we'll see what happens if they get a little more friction coming up. But once again, for future things, because there was a Raw that we have discussed, which we will do at another time. But no, great match, solid match. You and I think are tied here because we both took Jade. And yeah, but good match. I was quite content with it. I was like, great so far. 2 really good, solid matches. I was quite content so far going in, and I didn't see a fall coming yet.
Yeah, exactly. And to kind of piggyback on that thought, you're right. So far, even though it's only been 2 matches, because there's things in between that they do also during the actual broadcasting. The pace of the event is going really well so far. So I agree with that. So then next match would be Rey. Well, actually, it should have been Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Which had I known this,
no,
I would have swapped my pick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked Rey Fenix to win his WrestleMania debut against a Chad Gable. And Rey Mysterio is a different story.
Yeah.
Because you're building something here. So I'll take the L. Because it happened. So I'll take the L. But it was legitimate injury, I think is what it was for
Ray. They discussed it like on the pre-show.
Yeah, so it was, but it was good to see Rey Fenix get some time and some action, because I mean he's your newest shiniest toy. So and I love Phoenix. I thought it was a really fun match. Once again, Gable. They had Gable in with Penta in his first one, and so to be able to put WrestleMania on with Phoenix in that, I thought great match. Pretty fun.
Yeah,
just pretty fun all around.
Yeah, well, so I thought it was a fantastic match. I like that it was Rey Fenix's debut at WrestleMania, almost accidentally, obviously because Rey didn't plan to get hurt. But I think my only issue with not the match itself was incredible. Both Rey and El Grande Americano or Chad Gable did incredible. My only issue with, for someone who's trying to stick to the storyline and understand like, oh yeah, like Rey is the leader of the LWO. To me, it would have made more sense to throw in one of the guys from LWO, to take his place, like a Dragon Lee, or, only because, that's his group. Now, I understand SmackDown before WrestleMania weekend began, Ray Phoenix did like a little lucha thing with Ray and Dragon Lee and the LWO, which, you know, puts him in the circle of the lucha group, so to speak. But in the interest of like seniority and fairness and like, hey, I'm an LWO member. How come I didn't get the shout out or the opportunity? Why did we throw Ray in? But I get it from a Triple H money making standpoint of, you know, making money because it is a publicly traded company. Yes, you're going to put the more exciting, you know, the heavier named superstar.
You're gonna get more viewers with Phoenix than you are with either of the LWO guys.
So again, I'm not naive. I get it. I'm just saying storyline wise, I'm like, hey, if I was, you know, Latino number 2 in LWO, I'd be pretty pissed. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's like you said, there's no more of that blurring of like lines where like, no, we know this is a business. So you're going to put your guy there, like you said. Like Phoenix is going to get you the eyes on the screen. It's going to keep the eyes on the screen because people were looking forward to that match. And they wanted to see that. Now, if you lost Rey Mysterio, so like you said, the new guy, the hot thing, it's Phoenix. So yeah, I agree with you. Like storyline doesn't make sense, but I mean they put on a hell of a match anyway. Yeah. So we got lucky. But yeah, and I completely agree and understand what you're saying. Like it would have made more sense to have somebody else, but you know, in the interest of WrestleMania,
yeah,
Ray Phoenix. But great match for Ray Phoenix, WrestleMania debut. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Love Ray Phoenix.
Tremendous job. Yeah, an incredible match as well. And then the next, I believe.
So you picked the Grande Americano on this.
Yeah,
one.
that was going to happen anyway.
So
I'll stick to my answer. Whether it was Ray or Ray Phoenix.
No. That's what I said. I'll take the L on that because you got it. So you're up right now on me. You got me by 1 right now.
Well, actually, side note, because if this AAA deal was already in play before we knew as fans, right, then it makes even more sense because now it made more sense to build up like a lucha story to lead El Grande Americano eventually to that AAA event where Worlds Collide that also got announced on night 1 with WWE's acquisition of AAA. So it would make sense, like, you know, clearly they don't just do things last minute.
They're gonna work. They're gonna work all of this on it. Yeah. All of this is gonna get worked out. Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. See what WWE does with AAA because AAA is awesome. So.
Yes. Absolutely. And then I believe we jump into the women's match, right? Charlotte and Tiffy, right?
Charlotte and Tiffy. I mean, I don't have I can't find my notebook. I brought it downstairs now. I can't find it.
Yeah, I think I lost this one. I wanted I didn't want Charlotte, but
I had Tiffy.
Yes,
as my logical pick.
I think as both your logical.
I had Tiffy as both. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, I picked Charlotte as the logical pick because again, she won the Rumble. It was a quick return. I feel like they were going to boost her up, but I guess it made sense for Tiffy to win because then you don't want to like knock down her momentum. But overall, she did fantastic. The match was great, actually. So here's my only thing about the match. To me, it felt a little sluggish at first. Like it might have been as far as pace, it might have been the slowest one of the night. The way that they were going back and forth with each other, but it definitely, because of the comments and everything that led up to this match, it did. I think what saved it is that it did feel real. So like when Charlotte was yelling at Tiffy or when they were like elbowing each other and stuff, it almost felt like, ooh, that was that on purpose? You know what I mean? So I think that realism factor is what saved the match for me, but it might have been the slow match of the night for me for night 1.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, yeah, I could see why you would say that. I thought it was great storytelling there because I agree with you. I thought the realism was really, really well used and quite well sold. Yeah, I did have Tiffy on both these spots. I agree with you. I mean, I think you don't want to take her momentum from you. And I said it in the prediction episode, which is why I went Tiffy. I'm like, I think you can still do this and not have, just give Charlotte everything just for coming back. You give her the Rumble, you give her the WrestleMania win, you give her the belt right there. So I figured that's kind of why I thought this was going to happen the way it did. And I'm glad. I was content to see it because that was my fan pick also, was I wanted to see this happen like that. So
yeah,
I say keep the belt on Tiffy and let her, she can keep beefing with Charlotte, keep going back and forth, see what happens. But yeah, no, I like it. I thought the match was fine. Looking at the matches now that I have the layout in front of me again, Yeah, I mean, I can see why you would say it's probably one of the slower ones of the night. I mean, the exception of maybe we have yet to speak about Raiders New Day.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot about that match.
Raiders New Day.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. So all right. Well, so going on to the next match.
Yeah,
we have the tag championships to go on because Eddie's notes are tight. I found my notebook, people. I found my notebooks. We're good. Sorry. I can help drive this mofo now. My man over here just missing tag championships. Just, no, you know it means nothing. Tag belts. Tag belts. The world, the greatest tag team ever winning these belts again. That means nothing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm kidding. So yeah, the Raiders versus the New Day, and as you can tell by my very, very gleeful announcement, your boys, the New Day, took home the belt for a, what is it, like a 14th time?
I thought it was 12. No,
12, something like that. They're up there, man. And it's great. Yeah. And love the new music, the dark swag, the this and that. And then we'll talk about it later. But Kofi's, when they came out on Raw, they looked dope. Like, it was good. So yeah, big fan, of course, because I love the New Day. I love everything that they do. Great match. There was a little tomfoolery and chicanery there at the end, but hey, man, you sometimes just gotta win. Just gotta win the match. So
yeah, no, I agree. I think the War Raiders did a fantastic job. I really do appreciate Ivar for really doing what big men do, and he just flipping all over the place and showing his power through his weight and stuff like that with his slams and stuff. But I too enjoyed the match, and I enjoyed the fact that the New Day won. I like that they cheated at the end to win, especially in such a high caliber, PLE like a WrestleMania, because now you add more sinisterness to their heel run. So now it's not only are we heels, not only do we not care, but before, when we were just, do good and do right by the book and all that stuff, now it's all out the window. There's no integrity whatsoever, and I love it. So I like the new Day. I do.
Fighting.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, fantastic match. I was, really, really well done. So I was quite happy with that. All right. So then next on my list now, because I want to make sure that we're going, is the last one before the main event, which sees the defending El Noche versus Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
So
well, the only thing that I will say about this is that tremendous match, right? I mean, Jacob delivers every single time.
Jacob's great, man. Jacob's great. He's just so great.
Good. He's so good. And ultimately, I kind of feel bad for LA Knight because they try to push him for the last couple of years, and it's Jacob totally diffused all of that. I mean, and I forgot who I saw put a post about this on Instagram, but it was something about along the lines of Jacob. They were saying about Jacob, he went from kind of like Cody. He was they didn't want him to now he's undeniable. The guy's undeniable. I mean,
fantastic.
He's the full thing. This is what you want in a Samoan Wolverine character. This is what you want. This guy is fantastic.
He's athletic as hell. He's big. He's strong.
Charismatic.
He's charismatic. He looks mean. He's got the grills. He's just
the grit. Everything. Full package wrestler.
He's what you want. And the big man who I love a big man who can move like that. Who doesn't? It's amazing. Kudos, Jacob Fatu. Congratulations to Jacob.
Yes, congrats
for winning the United States Championship.
See, no, fantastic. Undeniable. That's all I will say about Jacob Fatu. Undeniable.
Yeah, I'm very excited, very happy. I loved it. It was great. It was awesome. All right, which brings us to the main. Oh wait, so we both had Fatu. So at this point, I have us tied because we pretty much picked everything correct except you picked the Grande Americano. I picked Tiffy. So going into the last one of the night, we were tied. Punk versus Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Which I think we both picked wrong, right?
We both picked wrong. We picked differently, and we both picked wrong.
Yeah.
You on your fan pick though did pick it because you read right beforehand, and I said, well, I guess they're gonna. I said that's gonna be weird because if they do, well, why are we trying to hide it? So we all know what happens. Paul Heyman uses, or his favor is now to make Seth Rollins a Paul Heyman guy. He screws over his best friend. He screws over his tribal chief. He, like cockroaches and Paul Heyman, will exist forever because this man finds a way to latch on and win. And it's genius, and I love every second of it.
Yeah,
but I was confused. I was like, I guess, are they going to do this? Like, he's going to have to become a Paul Heyman guy, and you're going to have to attach him for a minute. And I guess what they're saying with this is, yes, we're going to do that. Which, once again, things I always overthink and be like, no, Hunter's not going to do this. No, forgetting that it's Hunter, and it's truly all bets are off.
Yes.
So, great match. Great match. Great storytelling. Great selling. I'm starting to get back to getting back to Roman Reigns. I didn't like it, but now I'm just like, you know what? Undeniable. He's undeniable. And Seth Rollins. This is, I think, payback to Seth for Seth being such a strong performer in the past year and giving Cody Rhodes the moment and being, I'll be your shield and all this other stuff that he did, and being the MVP of WrestleMania last year to help get along to this year. I think this is the moment. And it was great. It was fun to watch. But I will let you go because you broke it. So please, man, please go.
All I could say is you are absolutely right. Everything that just came out of your mouth is absolutely true. Everybody's entrances were phenomenal, right? The history of the bloodline on those screens as he was walking down and they descend on him, poetic, beautiful. CM Punk actually having the song played live and like having his moment there, fantastic. And even Seth too. I mean, coming out in black and with the fire, and then lights out and comes out like in all white. It's like, it was, entrance alone was beautiful. And then you go into the match, such incredible pace, because you would think, right? It's like, sometimes what happens with like the final match of the night is sometimes they go slow just to kind of, but no, this was like well paced. Yeah. Everything was good until those final moments of Paul Heyman turning. And then I don't know if you picked this up, right? Because we've seen so much of it already, but I at the moment I definitely saw this. But like when he gives CM Punk a low blow, there was like this true like broken heart like face that Paul Heyman had. Like, no, like you made me do it. Like it was like tearful. Yeah. Well, but then for some reason, when he gave the low blow to Roman, it was like angry, right? And it was like, and I was like, yo, what is he trying? He tried to make sure no more bloodline comes out. Like,
he shook it around. He's like,
scrambled his huevos, bro. Like, what are you doing?
He was like, you left me with Solo. This is a payback for you leaving me, man. Oh,
well, good. I'm glad you picked that up too.
Oh no, I saw that shit. Cause the first thing, because he was like, he said it to CM Punk. He was like, "You made me do it. You made me do it. Look what you made me do." And that's why he did it. So you believe that shit. And then when he hit Roman and he just started moving back and forth, and I'm like, dude, this is like a game of operation where you don't want to touch the sides. He was trying to touch the sides though. Yeah, he wanted to feel that little shock. And he was slapping it back and forth. It was hysterical.
I was like, yo. But overall, what a fantastic way to end night one.
WrestleMania, baby.
Yeah, WrestleMania night one was fantastic.
That was dope.
And I know we're eventually going to jump into night two, but the reason why I like night one at this point was because of the flow and the pace of the night. I was engaged the whole time. There was not one moment where I was nodding off or falling asleep. And ultimately, like, I feel like in comparison, I mean, night two was fantastic as well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm sure you could admit that there were certain matches that I was like, oh, is this still going on? So I didn't have that with night one. Okay.
I mean, I see what you're saying there, but I mean, I'm looking at the card for 2, and I'm like,
Yeah.
absolute, just amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without a doubt.
Like, and yeah, I see what you're saying, but I with the 3 that were there, I couldn't just.
It was enough to keep it afloat. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, might as well, right? Let's just jump into night 2. Let's
go.
get it.
All right. Fantastic.
Oh, wait, well, first for our listeners, that concludes night 1 of WrestleMania 41.
That's right, night 1. Sorry, night 1. You've been great, but we have to move on to night 2. It's quick, it's dirty, but you know what else is dirty? Dominic Mysterio. No,
yeah,
let's go.
I know. Which I picked, by the way. Let's go.
You did. I mean, we're going out of order, but let's go with that.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it. All right, we are jumping into WrestleMania 41 night 2. Ariel, take it away.
All right, I'm taking it away. I mean, this is great. So in the 4-way dance, the champion Braun Breaker defends against Judgment Day members Finn Balor and Dirty Dom Mysterio, and the newest addition to Raw, the hottest superstar as of late, Penta, in a
fantastic match.
in a wow match.
Yeah,
that was just end to end, man. Just so, I mean, 4 amazing athletes, and I'm putting Dom up there now, man. I agree with you. When we said the preview episode, we said he's starting to come around, and you're starting to see him more. And man, great! What a match! What storytelling! What athleticism! What speed!
What a reaction! Like the fact that he went in double heel and ultimately becoming like probably the greatest face ever. And crazy.
It was great, bro. Oh my God, it was absolutely fantastic, man. It was such great storytelling. You know, Dom has paid his dues. He's done a lot, and he's done a lot in the storyline where he hasn't been really wrestling too much, getting these shots. So when he got the chance to get the belt, and they put the belt on him, I thought it was great. I thought it was going to be Balor. I mean, you and I had the conversation. It's going to go to one of them because we knew they were. You don't lose anything with Breaker losing, especially if you're going to start pushing him. Story to be told later. Penta still kind of too new in the company. I don't know if you want to give him the Santino Morello treatment because then you kind of wash him. You know, the Rocky Maivia, So it's going to be one of these two, and I thought for the storytelling, it was going to be Finn Balor, so you can kind of keep this air about it. But you were right, man. Dirty Dom Mysterio. Congratulations, Dominic Mysterio. Eddie, please go, man. Please, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, fantastic match. Everybody did incredible. All the spots were fantastic. What I loved the most about it was, Dom and Finn, again, true storytelling in the ring. Like they tried their hardest not to go against each other, to be a team, to, represent the Judgment Day. And then the moment one of them saw an opportunity, and I believe it was Dom that took the shot first, took it. Finn was like, oh, it's on. And while everyone's all over the place, ultimately Dominic capitalizes on the opportunity. And then just a tremendous ending to this entire story, which, funny enough, based on, again, and I know we keep referencing Raw, based on what happens on Raw that following Monday, totally makes sense for the outcome now, especially for Judgment Day and for Braun Breaker as well. So great way to set up, the new wrestling year, right? Because we consider this is the end of the season and we're going into the new season. So great way to start the new season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for anyone who didn't see it, it was, I believe it was Penta who was down. And then Finn Balor gave him the coup de grace. As he's pinning him, he gets to 2 out of nowhere, Dirty Dom with a frog splash, and then pins Finn to get the pin to get it. So that's what the storytelling at the end there was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. And like you said, setting up for the new year. It's going to be great. So, all right. Well, and that match was such a banger to me that's why I'm like, and that was man, that was so good. It was so, like probably of the 3 that I loved in this particular one, that might have been that might be number 3, but I don't know because so good.
I mean, I love the 3 that you love. I love too, and probably for the same reasons. So so before we jump into the other 2 really good matches, let's get these other matches out the way. So let's just jump into AJ and Logan. So here's my thing with this, right? I loved it on paper. I wanted it so bad because I'm like, oh man, I said it on the preview. Two high flyers, two people that can still, I want to see like aerial combat, no pun intended, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get that. I felt like this match was so slow and the pace was off. And I wanted more. And then I mean, I know Logan is the heel and I know he has to bring his goons in, but I'm like, dude, again, like we've seen this time and time again with you. And granted, whatever, he got the win, but I was dozing off during this match. And I think that's the other part that kind of messed me up too, is that I wish this match was earlier on in the night as opposed to like smack in the middle. And I was like, I was dozing off at this point. So
yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, no, I completely agree. I'm not a Logan Paul fan. I am an AJ Styles guy. I really didn't care for this. We knew what was going to happen. We both picked Paul, knowing, that's just what it was going to be, which is what it is. You're building this heel, you're building this, this jackass, this, whatever you're building, and it's going to work because he's great. I mean, he does have all this money and this popularity and this fame, this notoriety, all these things that he's going to be able to parlay into with his great acting and being an awesome heel is just going to put him a rocket on his ass in terms of the WWE. But yeah, I can see why you would say it was kind of slow and a little bit off. Like I said, it was on that night because you had so many other things. I think that was definitely just kind of filler, and it lost its luster when you go back and think about it the way it was because there were so many other dope matches that were there. So we can go past that one and go to Priest versus Drew.
Right.
Both of us got this one wrong. Both of us thought that Priest was going to come out here. I will say this because there's really not much for me on this match, except for I was going Priest because I thought a loss to Priest here hurts him more than a loss to Drew does. Mm-hmm. I still feel that way, and I'm kind of bothered by it, which is why I really don't want to talk about it. So, because I'm just like, because once again, I understand McIntyre's amazing. He's fantastic. Awesome. Once again, another guy who put in a lot of work last year to help carry that feud, Punk, all that stuff, so I feel bad that this kind of goes and kind of hurts Priest a little bit more because now you have to see what you do with him. But yeah, that's kind of where I am.
So for me, two things, right? One, these guys are, first of all, they're both incredible, right? I mean, they did put on a match. I think for me though, I feel like we've seen both in these type of matches way too often, whether it's a street fight or some type of hardcore match, so that's why I was kind of over it. That's one. Two, if you really think about the past year, it would seem like Damian has had more wins or more opportunity over Drew. You know what I mean? So, and technically, if you think about it, Damian did get the win last year, right? When he cashed in at Mania. So it only makes sense that now they're like 1-1. So maybe the feud continues. Maybe someone else gets thrown into the mix, but ultimately, you could still tell a story here, but again,
you're right. You're right. And I didn't think about that he did cash in and beat him last year on that. Mm-hmm. We should have probably referenced that on the prediction show because that might have changed the way we looked at this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, I'm just like, okay, solid match. I love these guys. But I do feel like overall though, you're right. This hurt Damian. So I don't think, I don't know where they go with him at this point. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. I mean, that's why we watch, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah. All right. And then what match do you want to jump into next?
Let's just knock out the other one. We can do the women's tag team championship, in which there was someone else got jumped before an important match that involves the women's tag championship. So you lose Bailey. Lyra Valkyria has 24 hours to find a new partner, and then it's the Charlotte Flair treatment. It's the same thing and I like Becky Lynch, I do, but I'm gonna without giving away too much, even though Raw already happened. With what happened on Raw, once again, I'll pinhook this to come back to this. Very bothersome all the way around. Good match, great match. Not great match, good match. They put on a good show. Rah, Becky and Lyra. Great job by Liv and Raquel to drop the belts and hand it over because the man is back, and you know,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way. I hated every bit of this. I thought the match was good. I thought Liv and Raquel did fantastic. The reason why I hated this match was, again, you're right, just to insert Becky in there out of nowhere because they have that connection from the past and, you know, coming from Ireland and all this stuff. And that's cool and everything. But I think my issue is, if you're trying to build Lyra up to be like a star, you can't bring in a Becky Lynch like that so abruptly, because you take so much away from her. Because even at the press conference, the post conference rather, when they both were being interviewed, it's like that interview was all about Becky. It wasn't about Lyra at all. So at the moment, I hated it. Actually, and I still do, because even with what transpired on Raw with them, I still don't like where this is going. But again, I mean, I don't know if the rumors were true about Bailey actually getting injured, or they did this because there were some creative differences, and that's why she, you know, took the high road and was like, all right, well, in that case, just injure me and we'll figure it out later, so that way I don't have to do this. Or maybe that was the story, right? Maybe Bailey was supposed to be the one to, you know, to do that on Monday, and maybe she didn't want to. Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
But we'll talk about another episode, the next episode.
And tomorrow.
So, but yeah, it's okay. I was okay with this.
And then I have one thing to bring up before we get to the last two matches. Was night 2 the night of the Randy Orton Open Challenge?
Yes, another surprise.
This was another reason that night 2 was so much doper than night 1. Yes. Why, you may ask? Because people, and not only there was however many sold out people in that stadium. We believe in Joe Hendry. We believe in Joe Hendry.
So, can I tell you that I genuinely popped for that? Yep. Like, I screamed. Absolutely. I was like, no way, Joe Hendry. Because I thought it was going to be Rusev. I honestly thought it was going to be Rusev. But I was like, no way. Awesome. He came out. Awesome. He had his moment at WrestleMania. Awesome that the world now knows more of Joe Hendry. At first, I wasn't crazy about the match, only because, although it was quick and entertaining and fun, personally, because I like Joe Hendry, I feel like, you know, it did more damage than good, because obviously Randy goes on top. But I've been schooled, everybody, and shout outs to King for this one, because we had a conversation about this and I referred to it as a squash match. And I was like, this was like a squash match. You made Joe look so bad and Randy looked so good. And he was like, it wasn't a squash match. Don't ever call it that. And I was like, okay, then why? Explain to me. Teach me. I told him. I'm like, teach me, master. Like, why? You're the pro. Tell me. And he's like, you know why? Because at the end of the night, Joe Hendry was the one that came out winning. Because even though he took the pin, the world knows more about Joe Hendry. Not just 63,000 people that were there know more about him, but everybody watching on Netflix and on Peacock and all over the world knows Joe Hendry more now more than ever. And I was like, so it's a win?
It's a win.
And then I was like, but what about Hogan in WrestleMania 9? He's like, no, that's then we just went down a rabbit hole. So shout outs to King.
Looking for one-offs.
Yeah. Shout outs to King for that bit of wrestling knowledge. So I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
All right. So we are on to the this I think this is probably my favorite match of the night, man.
Yeah, I agree.
This match was
incredible.
Show stealing, and I mean, and my boo thing. She did it, man. She did it. Fucking Io Sky, ladies and gentlemen. Io Sky. The mush. You mush her left, you mush her right, you mush her front, you mush her back. Do you know what happens when you mush someone that many times? They take that shit personally. Oh, yeah. You ain't gonna be mushing me when I have the belt. And she came and she defended, and they fought, and wow. Now, once again, this along with the Intercontinental Championship had me floored. I stole the conversation in the early part of the Intercontinental Championship, so I will let you drive this one, baby.
No, bro, honestly, again, fantastic, nonstop, entertaining, engaging. The flips, the kicks. I think the thing that keeps replaying in my head was when Io does this backflip and Rhea puts her legs up, and poor Io, right? Because her legs, Rhea's legs are longer than Io. So the way she bounced off her boots and like flipped back, and then Bianca jumping off the oh my gosh, it was everything I wanted in this match. It definitely makes up for the bull crap of anger that I had with Rhea during this whole buildup. But you know what? If you're gonna produce an incredible, a clinic on how a triple threat should be ran, by all means, give me bull crap of story builds up for 8 weeks and produce that. I'm game. Fantastic, man.
It was such a great match. It was such a great match. The outcome was awesome. Like everything through the match, because you could see that match going any number of ways at any different point. Possible pins. You're like, yeah, but this is going to be it. Like this, of course. And it doesn't happen. You're like, wait a second. Like, just such a rapid pace, and you have 3 superstars who are just athletic as can be. I mean, Bianca Belair is probably the best pure female athlete there. Rhea's big and strong. Io can just about do it all. It was wow, man. What a match. I can't state enough. But congratulations to Io on holding. I love that Io's had this belt. I love that Triple H is an Io guy. I love her so much. Man, she's my favorite superstar right now in that women's division. She's fantastic. And congratulations, Io Sky. Great match. Wonderful job, man. Triple H, great job on storytelling, keeping everybody relative, not making anyone look terrible, like, and just empowering your champ. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. In hindsight, overall, the whole build up to that story, fantastic. I loved every bit of it. So,
so real quick before we get into the last match, I'm just going down the line here. You and I are still tied because we both picked Paul. We both picked Priest and lost that. You picked Liv and Raquel to win. I took Lyra and Bailey, so I won that one. You took Dom, won that one. I took Finn, and then we both took Bianca here, so we both lost. So as terrible as this is going to sound, we're currently tied going into the main event of night 2. We were tied coming into this, and we have the same exact answer for night 2. So we literally are going to finish our choices and our picks in a tie.
Hey, that means we're getting smarter.
Great minds,
what we're
right?
watching.
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. So on the last key, Eddie, if you want to bring it home as to the main event of Sunday night 2.
So we walk into John Cena coming out to the ring with no animation, no colors, no nothing, just in black and white. John Cena, which I hope they make a t-shirt. I just want a John Cena black and white t-shirt.
Black Cena,
just that's it. And awesome way to really, make on his promise, right? Of like not giving the fans any more than they deserve, right? So to speak. And then Cody, obviously spectacular, comes out. And match starts.
Whoa. Do not just glaze over that dope ass mask that Cody had.
I mean, he has a mask every year.
But the hydraulics on that shit, that Iron Man type open, you tripping. Stop it right now. Stop. I like John Cena's black shirt. That man had hydraulics on his face. I like a black shirt. You're such a homer, man.
Bro,
get out of here,
is key, bro.
You're ridiculous. Get away from me.
Everything John Cena said about Cody is true, bro. It makes sense. He's too much.
No. Bro, have you watched Triple H's entrances on WrestleMania through the years?
Yeah, it's okay though. He's the king of kings.
Come on, it's please stop it. Yeah.
But overall, great match. The pace was a little rough for me at first, but obviously it's the main event. It's gonna happen.
Right.
I think the only negative thing that I have to say about it, which I guess was purposeful, maybe not, was when Travis Scott came out. I mean, that guy took his time going down the ramp, and like, bro, we heard his entire album by the time he got to the ring. It was crazy. I'm glad he took the crossroads and, you know, was lifeless in the ring.
Well, yeah, had to after he gave him a black eye. I mean,
and that's what I like. Yeah, Cody was like, "You think I forgot? You think I forgot?" And I was like, "Yeah."
It was a callback to like, nah, like that's you gave me a black eye. You stink.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna deuce you up, and he did.
Yeah.
But it was just enough for some shenanigans and chicanery once again to give the win to the 17-time world champion, the new standard, John Cena. Call him what you will. Call him the doctor of thugonomics. Call him, you know, fruity flakes, or what the Rock call him, fruity pebbles, whatever he used to call him, like call him whatever. He is 17-time world champ. You will have to remember the name John Cena. It was a great match. Very well done in terms of the storytelling of the match. Like you said, Travis Scott thing droned on a little bit too long. Probably could have shortened that by a long bit, but Cena exposing the turnbuckle, doing the heelish moves, stuff like that, and then begging for his life. Only, you know, oh no, don't hit me, don't hurt me, whatever. Only to kick Rhodes in the crotch to be able to finish him off. Great way to finish it as well in terms of pushing heel Cena, making him be the terrible bad guy. Because that's not him. That's not hustle, loyalty, respect. Yeah, that all went out the window with that black shirt. So like, no, it was great. It was good. It was it was great. Cody, perfect. Give Cody some time off. Cody's been busting his ass since before he put that belt on. He'd been running around since he came back to the company. Every date the man was there. Give the man a little time to breathe. Give Cena this because Cena's been there, man, and you know, he's fantastic. As you said, when he announced the retirement, you start to realize that you took it for granted and stuff like that. So it's a good reminder when he's counting, when he's counting down the dates that he has. But no, great match. It was really well done, and thought the ending was the way it was supposed to be. Good, best for business, and I mean, just a capper to a 2-night event that, I mean, is just aces in my book.
Yeah.
Just aces. Like, I can't wait to go back and just watch some of these episodes on their own just to watch them again.
Yeah,
you know,
for like sure. I agree with that.
That women's triple threat match. Woo, man, that was stellar. Like, so it's so I mean, WrestleMania.
Yeah, just give it the final grade.
I'm giving it an A. I'm giving it an A. A, just A all the way around. I mean, with the exception of a couple things, but you can't give everyone what they want. So I understand. But great storytelling, man. Belts changed hands. Not all of them did. You know, great storytelling setting up for the new year. Yeah, man. A all the way around. Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree. I think we did like through 10, so
okay. I'm giving 9. I'm gonna go 9.
Yeah, but it's cool. A is a 9, because I think a 10 is A plus, so you're
A
good.
plus. Yeah. I'm going 9, and I mean, just 10 would have been. I mean, Priest wins and like someone comes back, and then I'm like, okay, this is like whatever.
This is crazy.
But then once again, you can't give everyone what they want. So, I mean, A plus is difficult, but I'm gonna go A.
Yeah. I second that. A
or 9. Sorry,
that A, that 9, that A, that 9. Yeah. But some notable mentions really quickly before we jump into final thoughts. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown the weekend before. Fantastic job. It felt like a little mini Rumble. I like the Final Four, and I like who ended up winning. Shout outs to Carmelo Hayes. I feel like it's a good push for him. So good job on that.
The way
he did great. And then shout outs to the Street Profits and their match, because ultimately ended up in interference. But really good way of doing that. So those are my 2 notable mentions for that. And then also one more, which you should probably, when you get a chance to, watch the women's ladder match from Stand and Deliver for the North American women's title, and watch the Fatal 4-Way women's match.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
I will say this: wrestling, especially during WrestleMania weekend or WrestleMania week, for those that were there all week, really shout outs to all the female talent. Oh my goodness,
fantastic!
Fantastic. Great job, everybody.
Awesome.
Overall.
Awesome. Yep. Can't wait to go watch it because and then I got to get ready for SmackDown this evening. Well, I'll catch SmackDown tomorrow because I got to work tonight, but SmackDown tomorrow. So we will be getting on tomorrow to recap that and, you know, pump out another episode real quick for everyone to get down to.
Yeah. All right. And well, if there's no more final thoughts.
Final thoughts. WrestleMania was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see the build up for the new year. Thank you to all the WWE superstars, people who work front, back, you know, ring guys, you know, the guys who work in the mailroom up in Bristol, or where not Bristol, was it Greenwich, wherever they are, somewhere in Stanford. Yeah, I'm in Stanford.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, it's Connecticut. There's like 4 things there and like Mohegan Sun. But so no, seriously, great job to everyone. Thank you for putting on a great show and the great storytelling. Can't wait to see where it all leads. And yeah, just thank the fans here in terms of you know, wanting to hear us do a recap episode. I think we knocked out 2 days in 50 minutes, which I think is actually pretty good considering you and I drone on for hours for like a match.
Yeah. Well, we know what we like, you know?
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone who does listen and who's following and who's, you know, liking and everything that you guys are doing. We appreciate it. And it's once again so much fun to do this because, you know, we know that you guys take joy in listening and having fun in this little ride that we're taking too. So thank you, everybody, and we love you guys.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and we love you, and we greatly appreciate you. We have so many more things coming down the pipeline. We're excited. We have another recap episode of Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, post WrestleMania, and then we got a couple of other things in store that we have to set up and solidify, which we're looking forward to bring to everybody. But overall, thank you, everyone, and we love you all. And Primo, you know what to do.
Yes. Well, post WrestleMania, the grandest of all stages, we will definitely see you when we see you.
Yeah, we will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.